It's been over 45 years since Jim Davis introduced us to the lasagna loving fat cat known as Garfield. After he'd been in two films in live action form that had ended up getting dissed, he's back on the big screen but in fully mind blowing animated form in the Garfield movie, now playing in theaters. But is this new animated feature anywhere better than the live action films? Or has this lasagna loving fat cat used up all of his 9 lives in another big disappointment? Find out in this spoiler free review right now. Big Days Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel Bear, known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the just now released animated adventure comedy flick, The Garfield Movie, released by Columbia, presented by Alcon Entertainment, DNEG Animation, One Cool Group, Wayfarer Studios, Stage 6 Films, a subsidiary of Sony, and Andrews McMeel Entertainment. Based on Jim Davis's comic strip, which was introduced in 1978. The film was directed by Mark Dindal, who also directed Cats Don't Dance, The Emperor's New Groove, and Chicken Little. From a screenplay by Paul A. Kaplan, Mark Torgove, and David Reynolds. The film stars Chris Pratt as the voice of the title character, along with Samuel L. Jackson, Hannah Waddingham, Ving Rhames, Nicholas Hoult, Cecily Strong, and more. Now, in the film, Garfield is reunited with his long-lost father, a street cat named Vic, being forced into joining him on a high-stakes adventure. And Odie's there to tag along. Unfortunately, this, like the live-action films, it eventually gotten bad reviews from everyone. But however, it has received praise for its voice acting and animation, but received criticism for the creative liberties taken with the source material. Anyway, now, of course, we start with a little origin story of how Garfield got to become, well, part of John Arbuckle's life. Well, we zoom into years later when one night, while getting a midnight snack, Garfield and John's other pet, a beagle dog named Odie, are kidnapped by two dogs named Roland and Nolan and are taken to an abandoned mall where they're tied up before they are rescued by Garfield's biological and estranged father, Vic. Garfield resents for abandoning him in an alley when he was just a kid. Jinx, a Persian cat, arrives to exact revenge on Vic for leaving her behind during a milk heist at Lactose Farms before she was caught and imprisoned in a pound. She agrees to let Vic go free if Garfield, Odie, and Vic steal a large quantity of milk as repayment for her imprisonment. They reluctantly agree with Nolan and Roland watching them. And meanwhile, John finds out Garfield and Ellie are missing. That's all the story I'm going to give to you. I will not give you no more for this spoiler-free review. Now, my thoughts on the Garfield movie is I actually did have a little more fun with this and what have you than the live-action films. While I do like the first live-action films because I've watched them more than its sequel. But this one kind of just took the cake. Now then, it has done fairly well. It opened not so long ago in various countries before just more recently came here to the US. The film sits at 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, but however, that's higher than the live action films have been. Well, they say the film rolls along at a zany enough clip to be diverting for kids, but this Emmy adventure doesn't much resemble Jim Davis's iconically grumpy creation. Well, that's understandable, but nevertheless, I found it to be fun, though. But I'll get to that in my slight bit of a negatives later on in a little. CinemaScore, however, gave it a B plus, while Metacritic has it a score of 30. The Hollywood Reporter criticized the film's unfaithfulness to the comic, writing, "As anyone familiar with cartoonist Jim Davis's iconic feline character shows, Garfield doesn't like to move around very much. He likes to eat, particularly pepperoni pizza and lasagna, and he likes to lie around and make sarcastic comments. In other words, he's not a cat of action, and yet for some reason, the creators of the new animated film revolving around him think that what the audience really wants is to watch Garfield engage in Mission Impossible style stunt-laden violent mayhem." Well, again, I understand. New York Times criticized the quality of the animation, saying the film was visually flat with compositions that seemed oddly half-populated and cheap. And The Guardian went as far as to call it a foul feline origin tale littered with product placement. The rap was, however, mixed on this, praising certain aspects of the film mildly conceited. While this new film isn't especially fine, it's still a reasonably enjoyable kids flick. It's short on laughs, but surprisingly big on tenderness. Well, I kind of way agree, but I disagree on the laughs though. This film did have some fun moments and what have you, and I had a lot of fun enjoying some of the action. Sure, a lot of this film isn't quite as loyal to the actual comic strip itself. I mean, it would have been fun to see more of Garfield being what he was, what he is, and what have you, and all that jazz. But anywho, and well, while I kind of feel somewhat a little bit, well, this is kind of a bit of another negative. A bit of a negative I have. We don't get to see much of John in this. That's kind of a well, a bit of a downside for me. I wish we could have seen more of him. I wish we could have had just a tiny bit more of cameos from some of the other characters from the Garfield world. I mean, we only get to see a few Easter eggs featuring that crazy clown Binky you may remember from the Garfield cartoons. But anywho, enough said. That's only a slight little heads up. But that doesn't count. He doesn't really appear, just in certain spots, kind of like Easter eggs, you know. Anyway, the Garfield movie proved to be somewhat funny, though. And believe me, as much as I hate to say it, I thought this was just as good as the first live action film. But you don't have to take my word for it. At least being based on the comic strip, well, being loosely based on the comic strip and what have you from Andrews McMeel Entertainment. At least it's better than the Marmaduke animated film we got on Netflix a few years ago. At least this is much better than that film. That film was okay, but it just wasn't not great though. It did have a few fun moments, but anyway, enough said about that. We have John Debney on board to do the score, and I'm going to say that was pretty good. It does have some pretty good music and what have you, so I gotta give it credit for that. Now, for our voice acting cast, Chris Pratt, who of course we more recently heard as the voice of Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie last year, voiced Garfield. Well, he's somewhat pretty good. He's almost close to as good as the original voice actor Lorenzo Music. May he rest in peace, but not quite close to as good. But he tries his extreme best, though. Samuel L. Jackson voicing Vic. Yeah, he was fine, what have you. Hannah Waddingham voices Jinx. Wow, now that was a character was not aware of. That's because he didn't watch the final trailer that Sony had recently put out. I didn't want to try and be spoiled too much more. Ving Rhames voices says a bull named Otto, who was formerly with the Lactose Farms. Nicholas Hoult voices John. I'm going to say he was good. Cecily Strong voiced Marge, a dedicated animal control officer. Harvey Guillen voices Odie. He does the vocal effects. Brett Goldstein voices Roland, and Bowen Yang voices Nolan. Let's see. We also have Janelle James, Snoop Dogg, Angus Cloud, and Even Jeff Foxworthy, I didn't even notice that I was hearing him. And Alicia Grace Terrell as Ethel, a female cow at the Lactose Farms. So anyway, the Garfield movie I thought was fun. It may not be quite as loyal to the actual comic strip, but nevertheless, I feel like it was a fun little flick, and I thought it was fun. It was kind of a little, just a wee bit long. I could have just used a little trimming down, but I still had fun with the Garfield movie nonetheless. So I think this is a fun flick. I think your kids will really like it too if you take them to see it. I think you'll get a good laugh from it as well. So anyway, for my score, I'm gonna give the Garfield movie 4.5 stars. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9. So what did you think of the Garfield movie? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And we'll have another video coming up soon. Probably might be a spoiler-free review of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. We'll see. Now, I also plan to give you a spoiler-free review of Atlas, the new J-Lo flick on Netflix. And I think if there's still a little bit of time left, perhaps the first Omen. I heard, not heard, I read the first Omen's gonna be coming to Hulu this week. But we'll see. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. So anyway, if you like this, check out my reviews of these other two bits with Garfield. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Garfield the movie from 2004. The upper right-hand corner is my Saturday morning TV log of Garfield and Friends from 1988. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of the first film Mark Dindal directed, and that's Cats Don't Dance from 1997. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is the Big D saying see ya and continue to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Bye now.